You think fighting back against toxic women makes you strong, but the truth is, it often leaves you broken. Every time you react, you're stepping into their game, a game designed to make you lose. They thrive on your energy, your anger, your attempts to prove them wrong. And in the end, you don't just lose the battle, you lose your peace, your confidence, and sometimes even yourself. This isn't about weakness, it's about wisdom. The strongest men aren't the ones who fight toxic women, but the ones who refuse to play their game. Because when you attack them, you're already trapped in their cycle of drama and pain. They feed off your reaction like fuel, and the more you give, the more they control. But when you step back, stay calm, and protect your energy, you win without lifting a finger. So let's break it down. Why attacking toxic women hurts you more than it ever hurts them. 1. Toxic women win when you react. The first thing you need to understand is this: toxic women are not looking for love, peace, or balance. They are looking for power. Their power doesn't come from being kind, supportive, or nurturing. It comes from pulling you into their storm and watching how you dance in the chaos. The moment you react, the moment you raise your voice, argue, or even try to prove a point, you've already lost. Why? Because now you're playing on their battlefield under their rules. And those rules are built to make you bleed energy. Think about it. Every argument you have with a toxic woman doesn't actually solve anything. You never walk away feeling like progress was made, right? Instead, you walk away drained, confused, maybe even guilty for things you didn't do. That's the game. Toxic women twist situations until you're the one questioning yourself, while they walk away with the satisfaction that they still have control over your emotions. They don't need to win with logic or truth. They win by making you explode, by pulling out the worst version of you and then pointing at it like evidence that you're the problem. The reality is, when you attack, you hand them the spotlight. You validate their drama. And worst of all, you give them exactly what they want: your energy. Toxic women are energy vampires. They feed on reactions. Every shout, every angry message, every long explanation is like fuel to keep them going. You think you're standing up for yourself, but in their eyes, you're just entertaining them, giving them more proof that they control you. And once they know they can make you react, they'll use it again and again like a weapon. True strength isn't in attacking back, it's in not reacting at all. Silence is louder than any insult. Walking away is more powerful than any argument. Protecting your energy is the ultimate victory. Because when you refuse to react, you starve them of the very fuel they need to stay toxic. You turn the tables. Suddenly, they're frustrated, they're desperate, and they're powerless. And you're calm, in control, and untouchable. Remember this: toxic women don't destroy strong men by force. They destroy them by pulling them into battles they should have never fought. The moment you react, you lose. The moment you detach, you win. 2. The trap of emotional manipulation. Toxic women don't fight fair, they fight smart. They know exactly how to push your buttons, twist your words, and play with your emotions until you're no longer thinking straight. This isn't random, it's a strategy. They study you, figure out what makes you insecure, what makes you jealous, what makes you angry, and then they use it against you. When you attack, you're not fighting her, you're fighting her carefully designed trap. And the truth is, the more emotional you get, the deeper you sink. Here's how it works. She accuses you of something ridiculous. Maybe flirting, maybe not caring enough, maybe being too controlling. Deep down, you know it's exaggerated or completely untrue. But instead of laughing it off or calmly dismissing it, you defend yourself, you explain, you argue, and boom, she's got you. Now you're caught in the cycle of proving yourself to someone who never wanted the truth in the first place. Toxic women aren't searching for clarity, they're searching for chaos. They don't want peace because peace doesn't give them control. The worst part? They're masters of shifting roles. One minute, they're the victim. You're too harsh, too distant, too cold. The next minute, they're the villain, throwing insults or silent treatment like weapons. Then suddenly, they flip back to being the victim again. This constant shifting keeps you off balance. You never know which version you're dealing with, and that's the point. Confusion is their favorite tool because when you're confused, you're easier to control. And here's where men make the biggest mistake. They think by attacking back, they'll regain power. Wrong. Every time you fight back, you reinforce the idea that her manipulations work. She knows she can get inside your head, pull your strings, and make you dance. And the more you attack, the more tangled you get in her web. Emotional manipulation is like quicksand. The more you struggle, the faster you sink. The only way out is detachment, not emotional coldness, but emotional control. Refusing to let her accusations define you. Refusing to let her mood swings decide your mood. Refusing to argue in circles that were designed to have no end. When you step back and see the manipulation for what it is, you take away its power. You realize her games only work if you agree to play. Remember this: toxic women don't need to throw punches to hurt you. They just need to pull your emotions out of you like weapons. The moment you recognize the manipulation and stop feeding it, you take back your power. You stop being the puppet and start being the man who can't be played. 3. The illusion of control. One of the biggest traps men fall into with toxic women is the illusion of control. You think you're the one steering the relationship, making the decisions, holding the frame, but in reality, she's pulling strings you don't even see. Toxic women are experts at creating scenarios where you feel like you're in charge, but every move you make is a reaction to something she set up in the first place. That's not control, that's manipulation disguised as freedom. Let's break it down. She ignores your calls for a day, doesn't reply to your texts, and suddenly you're the one chasing, wondering what's wrong, questioning yourself. She pulls back her attention, and you instantly work harder to get it back. You might think you're choosing to call, choosing to fight for the connection, but no, you're just responding to the bait she left hanging. She knows that silence creates anxiety, and she uses that silence as a weapon. That's not an accident, that's strategy. And here's the harsh truth: the more you try to control a toxic woman, the more she controls you. You tell yourself you're just keeping her in check, making sure she respects boundaries, making sure she doesn't disrespect you. But the moment you're spending your mental energy tracking her behavior, watching her reactions, or planning how to respond, you're already trapped. You're not in control of her, you're in control of nothing because she has you wrapped in constant reaction mode. Toxic women thrive on that illusion. They let you believe you're the leader, the dominant one, while subtly pushing you into positions where your every move benefits them. They stir drama, pull back affection, and create chaos, not because they need to, but because it ensures you're always on edge. And when you're on edge, you're predictable. Predictable men are easy to manipulate. The only way to break this illusion is to stop playing tug of war altogether. Control isn't about holding the rope tighter, it's about dropping the rope completely. When you stop reacting to her pull, when you stop trying to control her behavior, you break free from the cycle. You reclaim your energy, your focus, your sanity. True control isn't about forcing her to act differently, it's about refusing to let her actions dictate your state of mind. Always remember, toxic women don't want you to control them. They want you to think you're controlling them while they quietly control you. The moment you stop reacting and detach, the illusion shatters. And so does her power. 4. Why fighting back drains your masculinity. Here's the brutal truth most men don't want to admit. Every time you fight back against a toxic woman, you're not showing strength. You're giving away your masculinity piece by piece. Masculinity isn't about shouting louder, slamming doors, or proving a point. Masculinity is calm, controlled, unshaken. It's about holding your ground without needing to flinch, without being dragged into chaos. But toxic women specialize in making you abandon that calm. They know exactly how to drag you out of your masculine frame and turn you into a reactive, emotional mess. And the moment you start yelling, arguing, or chasing validation, you're no longer the man in control. You're the man being controlled. Think about it. Masculine energy is supposed to lead. It's supposed to set direction, hold boundaries, and remain steady even when things get chaotic. But when you're constantly fighting back, you're no longer leading. You're following her lead into battles that don't even matter. You've left your position of power and entered hers. Toxic women thrive on emotional chaos, and by meeting them there, you're playing the game they're designed to win. You think you're defending yourself, but really you're just pouring energy into a bottomless pit where nothing changes, nothing improves, and nothing gets resolved. The more you fight back, the more you drain yourself. You drain your patience, your focus, your peace, and most importantly, your masculine essence. Instead of being the calm, centered man who can walk away from nonsense, you become the unstable one. Constantly triggered, constantly defending, constantly reacting. That shift is exactly what she wants. Because once you're reactive, you're weak. And once you're weak, You're no longer respected, you're controlled. Real masculinity isn't about aggression. It's about discipline. It's about knowing when to engage and when to walk away. A toxic woman can only drain what you give her access to. And if you give her your anger, your time, your focus, you're handing over your strength willingly. That's why men walk away from these relationships feeling empty, bitter, and lost. They fought so hard to prove themselves that they ended up losing the very core of who they are. Here's the key: you don't protect your masculinity by fighting toxic women. You protect it by not engaging, by refusing to argue over things that don't matter, by keeping your peace more valuable than her drama, by walking away when you see the game instead of playing it. Because the strongest man isn't the one who fights toxic women. The strongest man is the one who doesn't let them drain him in the first place. 5. The cost of playing her game. Every man thinks he can win if he just plays harder, argues sharper, or proves himself better. But here's the painful reality: you can't win a game that was designed for you to lose. And toxic women? They're masters at designing games. When you step into their arena, you're not fighting for victory, you're fighting for survival. And survival always comes at a cost. That cost is your time, your energy, your focus, and eventually your self worth. Look at how it plays out. You get caught in endless arguments that never actually resolve. You spend nights defending yourself, mornings second guessing your words, and entire days replaying conversations in your head. That's time you could have spent building yourself, chasing your goals, strengthening your body, or stacking your money. Instead, you're wasting hours explaining yourself to someone who doesn't even want the truth. She just wants the control. That's the cost. And it's not just about time, it's about opportunity. Every hour you lose in drama is an hour stolen from your growth. Then comes the emotional toll. Toxic women are experts at draining you until you no longer recognize yourself. You go from confident to insecure, from decisive to hesitant, from calm to constantly on edge. You don't laugh the same, you don't move the same, and your masculine fire starts burning out. That's the real price of playing her game. Your identity gets chipped away little by little until you're a shadow of the man you used to be. And the cruelest part? She won't care. In fact, she'll use your brokenness as further proof that you were the problem all along. And let's not forget the long-term damage. Playing her game trains you to accept chaos as normal. It wires your brain to believe that love equals fighting, that passion equals pain, and that relationships are supposed to feel like war. If you stay in that cycle long enough, you carry those scars into every connection after her. Suddenly, you're suspicious, defensive, and unable to trust, even when you meet a good woman. Toxic women don't just hurt you in the moment, they sabotage your future without you even realizing it. So understand this clearly. Every second you spend playing her game is a second you'll never get back. Every argument you feed is energy wasted. Every attempt to prove yourself is a piece of your masculinity handed over. You don't beat toxic women by outplaying them. You beat them by refusing to play at all. Walking away isn't weakness, it's the only real win. Because the cost of staying in her game is always greater than the reward. Always. 6. Why walking away is the real power move. Here's the truth most men don't realize until it's too late. The most powerful response to a toxic woman isn't fighting, shouting, or proving your worth. It's walking away. Walking away looks simple, almost too easy, but it's the one move she can't handle. Why? Because toxic women thrive on control, and nothing shakes that control more than a man who refuses to be controlled. When you walk away, you send a message louder than any argument. I value my peace more than your chaos. I value myself more than this game. Toxic women survive off reaction. They feed on the back and forth, the emotional roller coaster, the constant proof that they can still get to you. Every insult, every accusation, every cold shoulder, it's all bait. And the moment you bite, you're giving them what they want. But when you don't take the bait, when you stay calm, steady, and finally remove yourself from the game, you starve them. You leave them powerless. And that's the one outcome they can't stand. Some men fear walking away because they see it as weakness. They think it means surrendering, giving up, or letting her win. But that's the illusion. You're not surrendering. You're choosing not to fight battles that can't be won. You're not giving up. You're choosing to invest your time, energy, and masculinity into something better. And you're not letting her win. You're showing that the real victory is keeping your dignity intact while she drowns in her own chaos. Walking away doesn't just protect you, it restores you. It gives you back your time, your focus, your freedom. It gives you space to breathe, to rebuild, to grow stronger. And most importantly, it resets the standard for your life. The moment you choose to walk away from toxicity, you're telling yourself that you'll never settle for less again. You're raising the bar for the kind of relationships, friendships, and connections you allow in your life. That's not weakness, that's growth. And here's the irony: when you walk away, that's when she realizes she never had power in the first place. As long as you were reacting, she felt in control. But the silence of a man who won't play anymore, that's louder than any fight. That's when she starts to panic because deep down she knows she's lost the only thing that mattered: your attention. So remember this: the strongest men aren't the ones who fight toxic women. The strongest men are the ones who don't waste a single breath on them. Walking away isn't just a choice, it's the ultimate power move. And it's the only one that guarantees you'll win. 7. Protecting your peace is protecting your life. At the end of the day, everything comes down to one thing: peace. Your peace of mind, your emotional balance, your mental clarity. These aren't luxuries, they're survival tools. And toxic women are threats to those tools. They don't just cause arguments, they create environments where peace is impossible. When you're with one, your nervous system is always on high alert. You're waiting for the next argument, the next accusation, the next storm. That constant tension eats away at you until you're not just stressed, you're exhausted. And exhaustion is how toxic women win. A drained man is an easy man to control. But here's the truth: peace isn't something you beg for, it's something you protect. It's not her responsibility to give it to you, it's your responsibility to guard it from anyone who tries to take it. Protecting your peace means setting boundaries so firm that no manipulation can cross them. It means recognizing when drama is being stirred and refusing to stir it with her. It means stepping back from people, places, and conversations that serve no purpose but to drain you. And sometimes it means walking away completely, no matter how much it hurts in the moment. Because in the long run, nothing hurts more than losing yourself. Toxic women don't care about your peace. They care about control. If they have to sacrifice your well-being to get it, they'll do it without hesitation. That's why you cannot depend on them to suddenly change or calm down. Waiting for a toxic woman to change is like waiting for fire not to burn. It's in her nature to consume. The only way to win is to remove the fuel. That means you stop pouring your energy into the fire. You stop giving her the reactions she craves. You stop letting her chaos dictate your mood, your actions, and your life. Protecting your peace is protecting your future. Because a man without peace can't build. He can't focus on his goals, his health, his success. He's too busy cleaning up emotional messes that shouldn't have been created in the first place. But a man with peace, he's unstoppable. He has energy to grow, clarity to lead, and strength to face the real battles that matter in life. That's why toxic women target peace so aggressively. They know it's your greatest weapon. So don't underestimate it. Protect your peace the way you'd protect your family, your money, your dreams, because once you lose it, everything else collapses. The real battle isn't between you and her, it's between her chaos and your peace. And the man who chooses peace always wins. The only way you truly win. So now, you've seen the truth laid bare. Every time you attack a toxic woman, you bleed. You bleed energy, peace, time, and masculinity. You think you're standing tall, proving yourself, fighting for respect, but in reality, you're walking straight into her trap. Toxic women are not accidents. They're storms that thrive on chaos, drama, and emotional manipulation. Their power exists only when you feed it. And every reaction, every argument, every moment you waste trying to win against them is fuel for their fire. That's why you never win by attacking. You only win by refusing to play. Look back at the cycle. You react, she twists it. You fight back, she plays the victim. You try to control, she shifts the rules. No matter what, the game was designed for you to lose. The only victory is not to play. Walking away is not cowardice, it's the ultimate act of strength. It takes far more discipline to control yourself than it does to lash out. Any man can yell, argue, or fight, but only a strong man can remain calm, hold his boundaries, and walk away when the situation demands it. That's real power. And here's the part most men don't realize until years later. Your peace is priceless. Once you lose it, you lose everything. Without peace, you can't focus. Without focus, you can't grow. Without growth, you're stuck in the same cycles of drama, wondering why life feels heavy and meaningless. Toxic women want that for you. They want you drained, distracted, broken. Because a man who is drained is a man who can't lead. A man who is distracted is a man who can't build. And a man who is broken is a man who can be controlled. That's why protecting your peace is not optional. It's survival. The lesson is simple but not easy. Stop fighting battles that were never meant to be fought. Stop letting her drag you into emotional wars that don't end. Stop thinking you can fix her, prove her wrong, or force her to change. You can't. The only person you can control is you. And the only thing you must protect above all else is your energy, your masculinity, your peace. Because when those are intact, nothing outside of you can shake you. So, if you want the final answer, here it is. The strongest men don't attack toxic women. They don't fight their way through drama or try to dominate chaos. They walk away. They rise above. They protect their peace like it's life itself, because it is. That's how you win. That's how you stay free. And that's how you become untouchable.